that I'm one of these people that I hate to quit. I get things under my skin and I can't let go. You know, you can even say this whole legalization argument cause that I got involved in after I was busted in 1997 is an example of that. You know, I got arrested, I felt the law was wrong, and I've been fighting for legalization ever since. You know, that's just part of my character. I've done it with other things too. Nothing as long as this. But even with this new argument about the joint. Last year, 2015, when we opened the joint, I did a lot of research. I checked things. When the state of New Jersey passed C.U.M.M.A, the Compassionate Use of Medical Marijuana Act, right in it, read it. I'm a reader. I read things. Right in it, it says that you can use medical marijuana anywhere where you can smoke cigarettes. Okay, so when I opened the joint, actually, when we opened the joint, and it's just not just me and Debbie. Debbie was my main investor, but Phil, John, I mean, none of this would have happened without all three of us, without all four of us. Debbie financed it in the beginning. I was the face and the name and got the publicity. Phil ran the intricacies of the place, and John actually was the cook. Okay, but when we put this together, I knew through C.U.M.M.A we could do this. It would be unique, it would be innovative, it would be one of the first examples of this anywhere in the state of New Jersey. And registering it as a church was just another part of me, my character, what I've been promoting for the last 20 years. Okay, so, knowing all that, when that first police officer showed up in February last year and told me that I had to close at 11, I'm a reader, man. When he told me that, I told him I didn't read anything like that before, and 2 days later, he showed up and gave me the statute, 146-22. And I read it. And what stuck out to me was it said, residential zone. The next Monday, he gave it to me on a Saturday. The next Monday, I went across the street to the city tax office is where I went. I didn't even go to the zoning officer. I went to the tax office. When I went to the tax office, Mr. Dixon, I believe his name, was an older black guy who ran the tax office. He has since retired, but I asked him, what zone am I in? And I asked him for a map of the city, and he gave me a map of the city. And I clearly was in a residential zone. A couple days later, Captain Gonzalez showed up with a whole bunch of police officers. You know, intimidating, this, that, and the other. And I told him, this does not apply to me. I told him why it didn't apply to me. We're a residential zone for one, and two, you know, it's a church. How do you tell a church or a temple to close at a certain time? You can't. And you know what he said to me? He said I was trying to fleece the system, like I was some type of flim-flam artist, that I was a smart ass. And I have to tell you something, listen, I've been told to my face before that I'm a smart ass nigger. You know what I mean? Like, because people in authority, they think they're in authority, they think they're better, they think that somehow because they have this job and they wear this costume, this little blue monkey suit, this police officer suit, that somehow that they are better, that they're smarter, that they somehow have some superiority issues with you. And you know what? I don't know, I never wanted to be a police officer. First of all, even though, yes, police officers do good, you know what? Yes, they're first responders to car accidents. Yes, they fill out your paperwork. You know, yes, they do catch criminals. But you know what they do more than they do that? They ruin people's lives, enforcing the war on drugs. They are the face of the government in many instances. And when they're representing unpopular things like our war on drugs and ruining people's lives and putting people in cages, you know, everybody doesn't look at them the same way as some of these suburban people that never have to deal with the police. And trust me, I grew up in the suburbs. I grew up in Sicklerville, New Jersey. And while Winslow Township Police Department had their issues, Winslow Township Police Department is nothing compared to some of our inner city police departments, who are more like occupation forces. They are constantly trying to arrest you, ruin your life. They're constantly trying to throw charges on you to ruin your life. They're constantly trying to somehow disrupt you, collect money, hand you tickets, summonses, complaints to ruin your life. And when these police officers came to me that day and was trying to tell me that I had to close at 11, like I said, I had read the statute. It didn't apply to me. But for me just to telling them that seemed to infuriate them. You know, he was Lieutenant Gonzalez at the time, seemed to get mad about it. And a couple days later, Sergeant Stokes came talking to me, and when she talked to me, she was talking to me like she was, you know, being very nice about it. To be honest with you, she was not being intimidating or anything like that, and we had a great conversation, you know. I even kind of like flirted with her a little bit, you know, like, I don't know, but she made a bet. She made a bet with me that I would have a shooting before Labor Day. Now, this was March 3rd, I think. And sure enough, the next day, March 4th, March 5th, the police came again. Lieutenant Gonzalez showed up with like 20 police officers again, trying to make me close, trying to tell me to close, intimidating, made people leave the place. And, you know, I went 3 days later, took me a day or two to write my complaint, and I wrote my complaint and filed a federal lawsuit against the police department in the federal courthouse, just 2 doors down. And if you read my complaint, specifically in my complaint, I said the statute 14622 does not apply to me. But you know what? For the next 6 months, next 7 months, the police department just teed off on us, just constantly harassed us, constantly scared people away.
Hey, everybody has to leave the premise for the city.
I'm saying if you want me to what you
The city's not allowed to be occupied. Everybody has to leave.
you want me to open it?
I don't even know why. Why y'all harassing me?
I'm not harassing you.
Yes, y'all are.
Let me introduce myself first. I'm Lieutenant Brees. Okay? How you doing?
I'm doing terrible.
You're doing terrible?
Yeah.
I know, I saw you on YouTube.
Yeah, you'll probably see some more.
Yeah. Why do you want to make enemies with these guys?
I wasn't making enemies. I've been here peaceful since last May, and then all of a sudden...
Let me ask you a question. You want to open for business, you're in violation of city ordinance. Why don't you go and meet with city council?
Oh, like they're going to say yes now if they all started doing all this stuff.
Listen, there's a city council meeting once a month, okay?
Yeah, I visited
And they talk to the proprietors in the city. You can go over there and maybe get something amended where you can have your business open at this hour. I'm trying to...
The one on the end, it has a business license to it.
Right.
And that has a business license, and that is closed.
Okay.
This right here, I incorporated as a church. I have a 501c3. I have an LLC. This is a church. There is no requirement from the city. I did what
What's
it
going
said.
on right here right now?
Roll over you got.
Can I come in?
They even created this case using this guy named Zev Lapidus, or however you say his name, Z-E-V-M for Mordecai, I think his name is, his middle name is, and then the last name being L-A-P-I-D-U-S. Now, this guy, go Google him and find out about him. Here's a known rat, confidential informant, who has plenty of issues, but they sent him in to obtain marijuana from me. It's called entrapment. They created an entrapment case. And you know what irritated the police department? The fact that when they were harassing me, I videotaped it. I clearly had announced a few months before that I was trying to make a reality show, that we were trying to do it ourselves. So like we had camera equipment and we were doing this, that, and the other. The police came and took our camera equipment on April 27th, charged me with a bunch of bogus, bullshit-ass charges, said I had $19,000 worth of marijuana. It's not even $900 worth, and if anything, it's personal use. And their confidential informant, their rat, let him come testify then as to what he did, how he did it, why he did it. He did it because the police department being mad at me for refusing to comply with their bullshit order that I closed at 11. No chicken wings at 11. You know what I mean? No chicken wings after 11. That's what they wanted me to do. And because I refused to, they launched this criminal investigation to target me, to entrap me. And they used this guy, Zev Lapidus, to do it. I look forward to this trial. They are used to people being afraid. They're used to people being intimidated. Not me. They're used to running over people that have no money and no legal recourse. I have no money. But legal recourse, I'm going to fight it out. I can read. And that's what this is all about. This whole entire case is because Lieutenant, now Captain Gonzalez, can't read or comprehend what he reads. I don't know. He's a captain. He thinks he's better. I don't know, but I can simply read. Like, that's my defense. I could read, and I read the statute, and it didn't apply. But me telling him that got his panties all in a bunch. Got him all hyper because I was a smart-ass nigger, and I refused to comply with his directive. That, like I said, it was not rooted in law, because he could not read the law. He could not read the statute. Not my problem. That's his problem. In fact, it's the city's problem. Hire literate cops. That's what they should do. Hire literate cops is what I would say to the city council. Now we have this case. They've stolen my camera system because I recorded them. Me recording them infuriated them. They created this charge called fortification, where they made a very big stretch and leap to charge me with violating the fortification charges and stole my camera system. And of course, I really do believe that they're going to delete it. I don't know, we'll see. But our next court date is October 31st, and the issue is the camera system. The issue is the police department's attempt, or the prosecution's attempt, to keep the confidential informant's name not in the public. But I'm already telling everyone his name. His name is Zev Lapidus. He's from Bordentown. He went to Plainsboro High School, West Plainsboro High School, West Windsor Plainsboro High School. He has a whole history. I've posted it before. He's a swindler. He's a rat fink. He's a drug addict. He's addicted to opiates. And, you know, he's always conniving and scheming. And he connived and schemed with the police department to arrest me and ruin me. To ruin this business. And I have to tell you, I don't go away that easy. You know, maybe they're going to try again some other way. But this way is not going to work. One, I was in compliance with the law. I could be open after 11. It could be open until at least 2. The business license could be open until 2. Okay? And I have 2 entities. Not only do I have the NJWEEDMAN'S Joint, which has a business license, but according to the way I read the law, I have to close at 2. But it's also Liberty Bell Temple Incorporated. Liberty Bell Temple 3 also incorporated, but as a church. You can't tell a church what time to close. They wouldn't dare, these police officers wouldn't dare tell Shiloh Baptist Church to close at 11 or 2. It'd be open anytime I want. If I want to have peace and love congregation and have people just chilling, just you know, being one, so be it. That's the way I want to do my spirituality. I don't want to do it the way the Christian churches do it. And I know most black people are Baptist people, and most black people are following the religion of our oppressors. They're following the religion that was forced onto us. That's specifically why I don't want to be a Christian. That's specifically why I rejected Christianity as a kid, because it was forced on us. And yo, slavery ended 160 something years ago, and I am not a victim of the Stockholm syndrome. there's no reason for me to be a Christian. I don't want to be a Christian. And the First Amendment says I can pick and choose whatever religion I want to pick and choose. And the government has no right to force somebody to. And if I want to have an all-night sermons or peace and love sessions, or I want to ingest marijuana instead of wine, so be it. And trust me, listen, the prosecution also has a case, has an issue, because they need to look up these two cases. I'm going to put them out. I'm going to give a hint out there where my defense will go. Okay, there's a case called FOP, Fraternal Order of Police versus City of Newark. Okay, there's also a case called Santeria versus City of Hialeah. In both of those federal cases, the federal courts have said if you make an exemption for secular reasons to a criminal statute, you must make a religious exemption to that criminal statute. And in this case, the state of New Jersey made a secular medical exemption to our 2C criminal statutes on marijuana. Okay, no problem. Well, like I said, I have formed a church, and I have this church, this location, this temple, and I demand an exemption too. I feel that the religious use of marijuana, religious use of cannabis, the spiritual use of cannabis is that religious exemption to our state criminal marijuana statute that should be protected using the same logic as FOP versus City of Newark, or Santeria versus the City of Hialeah. I want you to follow this case. Just follow it. That's all you got to do is follow it. And of course, I want you to come in and get some chicken wings, and definitely, come get our FTP, Fuck the Police After 11 special. Now, of course, I'm going to put FO. The FTP could also stand for Feed the People, too. But anyway, peace and love. Follow this case.